Hi, in this demonstration we're going to show you some exciting new technology and how it can have a major impact on our courts. Okay, it starts with a digital pen and digital paper. This is a digital pen and what it has is a computer inside. So it writes like a normal pen. So if I write, I'll do a little bit of a squiggle here, and as you can see there's ink on the paper. What you didn't see was internally what the computer did. It actually recorded what was written on the page, where it was written on the page, what page it was recorded on, and the date and time that the actual information was written on the paper. Okay, let me demonstrate more. If I write 1, 2, 3, okay, it's actually recorded all that information in there and with the time. I'll also go A, B, C. Now, when we write notes, notes are used as a mental aid. They're there to help us, there to assist us. They're not a verbatim what was said, but we're making points. We're listening to the information, we're filtering it, and we're making notes. Now, I can talk 150, 180 words a minute. It's not likely that you can write notes at that rate. It's also not likely that you need all the information, but depending at the rate and the flow, you can make certain notes. Now, your notes are an aid, but they're not the entire information. So traditionally in a court, what would happen, it's recorded and maybe a transcript is made available. If there's no transcript, your only way of recalling is the paper. We've got a big problem here. And the problem is, as time extends, hours, days, weeks and months, as time goes on, our recall based on our notes, it's going to reduce. There's nothing we can do about it. But watch this. If I dock the pen, what we've also been doing is recording the audio. So this presentation's being recorded and the information is now digital. So we've got digital audio of this presentation, we've got digital notes, and we can join the two together. So let's have a look. As you can see here, we've got our notes, and I can actually click on one. I'll click it. Okay, let me demonstrate more. If I write 1, 2, 3, okay. Or I could also go on to all that information in there and with the time. I'll also go A, B, C. Now, as you'll notice, it actually started playing the audio before I actually wrote. How did that occur? Well, this is how it worked. Normally, we hear something, our brain thinks about it, assigns meaning, which takes us a period of time, and then we may say, yeah, I'll write a note on that. So we have the information, we do our thinking, and then we write the note. So the notes always come after. So although we've got our audio joined exactly at the same point in time, if we were to play from that point that the note was written, that's not where the audio was said. The audio was said back here. So by default, with our software, we've added a 5-second preemptive offset. So when you click on here, it says, okay, you want to go to this point, I'll go to that point and minus another 5 seconds. So we'll go back. What I'll do is go across to here and I'll go back to number 1 again. Okay, let me demonstrate more. If I write 1, 2, and we're jumping back to that exact spot. Now, the other thing that you need to notice is as I'm recording the audio, I'm able to play it back. And while playing it back, I'm still recording. What does that mean? Well, in court, I can record and take notes the entire day, and I've captured everything. So every time I hear something, I can make a note. I could just write a question mark, okay, and a little note next to it. Or something important, I could put an asterisk next to it. So I can design my own symbols and what they mean, and then write a little note there. I don't need to go flat out and try to write everything down. I just need to write notes that make sense to me. They're acting as smart markers or index points back to the audio. So if I dock the pen once again, we can then go back to that. So what we'll do, we'll go back over to here and we'll have a look. This is where I had the question mark. I'll click on it. I've captured everything. So every time I hear something, I can make a note. I could just write a question mark.
Okay?
Or I'll click on this.
Or a little note next to it. Or something important, I could put an asterisk next to it. So I can design.
So as you can see, we have joined the written word with the spoken word. Now, is that not incredible? Well, what we're now going to look at is how this could impact the judge, a barrister, and the jury, and we'll cover them in the next part of the presentation. Speak to you soon. Hi, in this part of the presentation we're going to have a look at this technology and how it could impact a judge. Okay, already judges use pens and paper to take notes. Now a judge also uses or has the assistance of a transcript. The transcript, however, is not instantaneous. The transcript may be given to the judge at the end of the day or a few days down the track, and then the judge can sit down with his notes and expand his notes based on the transcript, and he has to cross-reference. So the notes are a source of information. The transcript is a complete copy of what was said in the court, and by marrying the two up. But they're both islands of information. They're analog and they're islands of information. Okay, consider this. What the judge can do now, he can actually sit here, take notes, and yes, he can wait for a transcript to come back, or he can just dock the pen and play back any part he wants. So he's not tied to the transcript. When the transcript comes back, that's fantastic, but long before then, he can have instant playback, instant clarification. And not only does he get the clarification, but two other great things. He gets the clarification, but he gets full tonality and inflection, which means he gets full meaning. There's nothing missed. When you go to a transcript, you actually lose tonality and inflection. You get the words, but you don't actually get the meaning. And tonality and inflection is so important in communication. The other great thing is, when the transcript does come back, any transcript's going to be produced on a word processor. And a word processor, by default, is digital. Now, here's the good news. When that transcript comes back, in addition to bringing back the paper version, the judge could get the digital version. Now, with the digital version, what we can do is import the transcript into our file format. Now, the judge would have the audio, his notes, and the transcript, and the best part, they're all joined together. So now the judge can look at his notes, he could do a search in the transcript, and he can play part any of the audio. Have we changed anything? No, all we've done is grab the information and made it richer and joined it together, which saves time and adds an incredible amount of value. Now, that's the value proposition from a judge's perspective. And now, what does the judge need to learn? Well, nothing. Pen and paper. That's it. There's no training, there's no learning. Basically, you listen and write. It's not like you're trying to tap on a keyboard, which could become distracting. You're just listening and writing as per normal. But the good news is, you know every word is being linked and synced, and at any time you can recall that. Okay, in the next presentation, we're going to have a look at the benefits of from a barrister's perspective. Speak to you soon. Cheers. Hi and welcome back. What we're going to look in this part of the presentation are the unique benefits from a barrister's perspective. Now, normally a barrister works with an instructing solicitor. So we've actually got two parties working together on the one side. So what can we do? Well, why have one pen when we can have two? Two? How does that work? Well, basically, we've got the instructing solicitor and the barrister, and both are capable of listening and writing notes. Now, rather than write notes that are related but not joined, we can actually join them together, and we're going to join them based on the audio. So, as we've seen, I've been writing with this pen on that page. So what I'll do, I'll turn the page over, and I'm going to write some notes on here. Now, I won't actually write, I'll draw some symbols. So, I'll draw a triangle, I'll draw a square, and I'll draw a circle. They don't mean anything. I'm just doing this to visually represent the instructing solicitor writing some notes, and I might do a squiggle underneath. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to dock the pen. Okay, the data will go down. But watch this. When the data goes down, we can detect that, hey, this is a different pen. And as such, what we're going to do is to display the information on as a separate page. So as you can see here, we have the notes of the instructing solicitor and we've got the notes of the barrister. So we've got 2 lots of notes and 1 set of audio. Is that not amazing? Same thing, if we want to play back any section, we can, instant recall. So we've got the same benefits of the judge, but we've got the ability to work in a collaboration perspective. Okay, the last part of the presentation, we're going to have a look at from a jury's perspective and how this technology could have a massive impact from a jury perspective. Speak to you soon. Hi, welcome back. Let's have a look at this technology from a jury's perspective. Jury members, their responsibility is to listen to the evidence presented and then form an opinion if the person is guilty or innocent. Okay, well, we've got some issues here. Court cases are getting longer and they're getting more complicated with the amount of evidence, the amount of videos and wiretaps and everything else. There's a lot of information coming in, making it harder and harder for a jury member to contain and recall this information. Okay, additionally, just recently, last week in fact, we had a case where a judge dismissed the jury. And why? Some of the jury members were playing Sudoku. Okay, not good. Okay, the question you've got to ask is, why were they playing Sudoku? Why were they? Well, there's only one reason. I've spoken to 6 barristers in the last fortnight, and all of them agree they were playing because they were bored. So the next question is, why were they bored? Well, it's simple. They disconnected. They were no longer active listening. They were no longer involved. And at some point they said, you know what, let's play Sudoku instead. Okay, definitely not good. And this, and even if they weren't playing Sudoku, people's minds can drift off. They can daydream. Okay, this is not good. This is not good. However, how could this technology help? Well, the good part about this, without complicating things, without additional training, rather than give them normal pens and paper, give them digital pens and digital paper. The benefit being is they now can be active listeners, meaning that while they're writing notes, they know that they're going to be able to rely on those notes and recall any information when they have to deliberate. Now, deliberation is very hard. They've got to listen to all this information regardless how long the case goes for, and they're instructed not to form an opinion, listen to it all, and then based on the information, make a decision. Well, the problem is you can't recall that amount of information. Now, how a jury works internally is it's based on collective recall. Okay? Well, that's not good. That's like everyone having a fragment, or it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and I remember certain bits, right? Or I remember what I think I remember, and other people remember other bits, and there's disputes. Imagine if every jury member had a digital pen and paper. We could all take our notes. Now, the way I take my notes, I'm an engineer, so I'm going to probably take notes a different way that a doctor or a lawyer or some other profession. We all have filters, and I may actually think the guy is guilty, whereas suppose someone else is actually leaning more to their side and they're filtering the information differently. Doesn't matter. What is important is that the audio is the common thread throughout, and my notes are what my opinions and the notes I'm filtering out. When it comes to deliberation, when I'm discussing a certain point, I say, no, he's guilty. These are the reasons. Bang, bang, bang. And someone says, no, but you didn't consider this. What point? I don't remember that. Bang, they can play it. I go, wow, I didn't consider that. Okay, so we can make the process of deliberation, better, but faster and more accurate. So it's a paradigm shift. We're not changing how juries work. We're making the process faster, easier, more efficient. We're engaging them. They can become active. They know that they're working towards a common goal. And rather than collective recall, which is fragments of information kind of gelling together, okay, we can actually have the 12 working as one. Now that's powerful. That's a paradigm change. And that's what's possible. Yet the process is so simple, as seen demonstrated. Okay, in the last part of this presentation, I'm going to cover some areas that we haven't touched on, some technical issues, and I'm going to cover some security-based issues. Just in case you haven't thought of them, I'm going to bring them up. So I'll speak to you soon. Okay, in this last part of the presentation, we're going to have a look at security. Okay, this digital audio file that we're recording isn't your normal audio file. You may have judged that already. Okay, it has the ability of recording audio, has the ability of importing pen data. In fact, you can import as much pen data from as unlimited pens. It also has the ability to import transcripts, and it has the ability to also import images or documents. So if evidence is given or exhibits, they can also be included in this audio. It's actually what we call a rich audio file format. We created it. So it's not your traditional linear audio file that can only have audio in it, but in fact we can have anything in this audio. Audio, text, images, links, URLs, you name it, we can do it. The other part is the file format is proprietary. And the reason is it was the only way we could get the functionality. We had to create our own file format. Now, we didn't do it intentionally, so we wouldn't be compatible with the world. Like if you wanted to export the audio, we can make that possible. We can spit it out as a WAV file or an MP3. That's not important. What is important, that it's a proprietary file. And because it's proprietary, it means we can take security to a whole new level. It means we can lock this file to the MAC address or the NIC card address on that computer, or to the hard drive. Additionally, we can password protect it, or we can hash it. Hashing it means that when the file is saved, an MD5 hash is generated, and it's a unique signature for that file. If someone was to ever get into it with a binary editor and so much as changed a single bit from a 1 to a 0, the hash will not match. Now, at this stage, we don't know what got changed. All we know, the hash within the file is not equal to the current hash of the current file as it is now, which means file corrupt. From a security perspective, we can say that file's been tampered with. It's no longer the complete record of what was recorded. So we can hash the file. And lastly, if we want, we can encrypt the file. So if it's of a sensitive nature, we can encrypt it. So there's multiple ways we can lock this file down. And basically, I can even make the file self-terminate. By that, I can put a use by date. I'll say it was recorded here, and this file is to delete itself within 24 hours and can only be played on this PC. If you actually moved it onto a different PC, it'll look at the MAC address, the hard drive number, and say, hey, you know what? This isn't the original machine. This security setting's been set. I'm not playing. Okay? Or you go to play the file and it says, oh, actually, I got recorded here. I've got instructions to self-delete. Boop, I'm out of here. And if you try to reset the clock, won't help you because the clock will actually go out to internet time and you can't change that. So you can't backdate your computer. So if you can think it, we've already thought it. Okay, with having a proprietary file. Now, had we just used a MP3 file or a WAV file, we can't control security. But by having a proprietary file, we have the ability to do whatever we want. If you can think of a business situation or business rules, we can actually implement it. Okay. Another point someone has raised is, well, what happens if my pen doesn't work? Well, if your pen doesn't work, like let's say the computer, you dropped it or smashed it and didn't work. Well, that doesn't work. Get another pen and write. Now, at this stage, it won't be syncing with the audio, but guess what? You're no worse off than you are now. Currently, you've got a pen and paper, and that's all you've got. Okay, but assuming you're not working with a smashed digital pen, this pen will record and capture everything. So there's no failback. It's not like, oh, if this fails, it's over. No, it's pen and paper. So in fact, if I want, I can actually write two lots of notes. I could actually use a digital pen to link the audio, but if I wanted to write additional notes in a different color pen, a different pen that I didn't want it linked to the audio, I can do that. I can just write on this. It doesn't matter. Okay, so there's no fallback, and that's the beautiful part. The other part is this technology has not been designed, and this is specifically, has not been designed to replace the transcription system. We don't want that responsibility, trust me. Okay, currently courts have recording systems by various vendors. That's great. Some courts do transcribe, some don't. Some are digital, some are analog. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter of the process, nor do we want to be involved in that process. So this is running in parallel. It has no effect on the existing system, but it can work with it. Now, if a transcript is produced, great. get the digital version, come back and import it. So we have no impact on this on the court. We're just value adding to the court. And if this system, let's say there was a problem, whatever, let's say there was, it has no impact on the court, just like the pen not working, has no impact on anyone else. Okay, you're back to where you were. So there's no downside with this technology. It's all upside. And lastly, as demonstrated, we're talking about a pen and paper. I've got a little 7-year-old son. He can use it. I haven't found anyone who can't use this technology. It's that simple because there's no training required. But once you use it, you know, your eyes go like, you know, bog-eyed looking at it. Everyone who, once they see it, they go, oh my goodness. And the aim of this presentation was to better explain and demonstrate what this technology can do, and specifically in the judicial system, how this can revolutionise and change how judges can operate, solicitors, barristers, and importantly, juries. This is multi-purposable. It benefits everyone. And we're just joining information together and getting faster replay, making things more efficient. And once implemented, there's no additional costs. So that's it. That's it. If you've got any questions, give us a call, pick up the phone, contact us, and we can arrange a trial. You know, there's nothing better than using the technology and seeing it and you go, wow, this is amazing. You know, I could never go back. So give us a call, send us an email. Speak to you soon. Cheers.